Hi, I'm Jim Bailey, and we're here at Bailey Pottery and Ceramic Supply. And we have today Martin Butt, who is the originator of the Coyote Glazes. And Martin's going to share with us some of his backstory of how his glaze line, which is hugely popular, came to be. Martin.
All right, thank you, Jim. So I was a potter right out of high school and through college. When I was in college, my professor was kind of lazy, I guess. He had me do all of his glaze testing for him. So I just did hundreds of glaze tests, hundreds of them, and kept the notebooks. And those coincidentally were all Cone 6 electric glazes because it was something he was trying to work on. And then I graduated and ran my own pottery for a while, and shortly thereafter realized that we needed more supplies in town. It was a one business town, a monopoly, and it was fairly ugly. So I got together with some people and we ran a co-op and brought in some truckloads of clay. And it was okay. The first co-op experience was everybody sent the money in and ordered the clay up, and it came in on a truck, and they called all the potters in the state, and they came, and the truck came in and unloaded by hand, and everything was great. I was like, okay, cool, and did it again, and all the best potters in the state showed up and stood around going, where's the truck? Where's the truck? And about 4 hours later, most of them were still there. It's like, what a tremendous waste of talented time here. And so I said, screw the co-op. I'm going to run it as a business. And I wrote a letter to everybody, and they sent me all their money. And it's like, okay, I brought the truck in. It eventually arrived, and I
Wow.
borrowed a warehouse from my grandfather and unloaded and called everybody. And they came and picked it up. I'm like, whoa, that makes so much more sense. So I sort of stumbled into the supply into the business.
Interesting.
And
Yeah.
so from there, I was potting along with running the supply business, and had to move locations, and all of a sudden I was without a gas kiln. And it's like, oh, I have all these hundreds of tests in a notebook from when I was in college for Cone 6, because that's all I had available. And so we mixed up some of those, and that worked out pretty
Great.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we kept going with that. I also taught classes at the time. And you teach for a year or two, and some of your students grow up and want to move on. And on their way out the door, they started saying, oh, can we buy some of those glazes? Like, yes, you can. So it was just a little light bulb going off. Like, that could work. And so fairly quickly, I went from mixing a 5-gallon bucket and pouring it through a sieve to, we need a 50-gallon mixer, and doing that. And then it just
Kept
one,
going.
one thing after another.
Martin, what are your most popular glazes?
Okay, our most popular line is probably the Archie's glazes. It's the gunmetal green and red gold are just the big sellers. They can be sort of temperamental. I mean, when you get it nailed, they're just gorgeous. There's nothing like it. The Shino line is the other real popular one, and it's a lot more user friendly. You can just give it to beginners and trust that it's going to come out of the kiln pretty. So these were one of the first that I advertised a long time ago. This is one of the most popular lines, and it's getting more popular all the time. The two-step oil spot glazes. You have to put down a first layer of the base coat, and then you put down subsequent layers of the various colored overcoats, and you get that oil spot effect. This cup was done by one of my customers, Sharon Galbraith, who does just great stuff with the two steps. And we have several new colors coming out shortly, and you'll see them Ceramics Monthly. Okay, I wanted to mention our liner series of glazes. This cup of Sharon's has the corn silk liner glaze in it. It's great for people that are worried about food safety and can I mix this glaze and that glaze, and is it going to craze and knife mark and all of that. The liner glazes are designed for dinnerware, so they are knife mark resistant and craze resistant and bleach resistant, and there are a number of them. They're real pretty.